I guess it's set up.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Well, Mr. Sandwich doesn't even know.
yeah, I don't need to know anything because it's not about us. It's about no match this week.
Ricky though.
Coming in
Ricky.
Yeah, they're coming
Ricky
in.
Band. Ricky Band.
They're not gonna have the Ricky because the Dinosaurchestra isn't trying to have anything with Invis heroes on the map, or not the Invis rat. As a support player, I totally respect the ban of a Ricky because I am not the kind of guy who likes to walk around buying all the dust and all the centuries and eventually getting conned into buying the gem as well. So I think it's a good look. And something about Dinosaurchestra is they actually double ban supports. They also went with a Dazzle ban. What you think of a Dazzle ban? Are you still taking a sip of water? Well, banning 2 supports. No match this week. Doesn't want anything to do with the axe. That's probably going to lead to a really aggressive lane against their carry, and then an Elder Titan, because who really likes playing against the Elder Titan unless you're going to first pick it? And seeing as Dinosaurchestra had the first pick of a Faceless Void, an Elder Titan would have looked really good in their pocket.
5 seconds remaining.
I kind of wonder what kind of things they'll dump into a Chronosphere behind this Void.
All right. I've survived. I've survived.
Congrats.
Oh man, we've got some interesting bands off the get-go.
Oh, now you want to talk about bands? You over here saying,
dude? All I talked about was that Ricky, and then I wandered off. I was hoping you would pick it up from there. Did it work?
Your boy's gone. How you feel about that?
I'm not sure.
Well, what I was going into is with the bands, no match this week. Went ahead and took away the Elder Titan because they didn't have the first pick, and of course, Dinosaurchestra said they got a Void player, so they're gonna throw him on the map. And no match this week responds with Witch Doctor first. What do you think about that?
I like it because Witch Doctor can still proc his ult outside of the Chrono and hurt if Dinosaurchestra catches any allies in their own Chrono. Then no match this week will be able to capitalize on it with Witch Doctor. So that's a pretty nice plus. Also, he could already be sitting on his heal aura when hit with Chrono, and then everybody in his team is still healing inside of it. I really like this Oracle pickup because Fortune's End can make Faceless Void unable to move in his own Chronosphere, which is kind of funny for me because, when you're in the Chronosphere, you're the master of space and time. I think that's what it is, right?
It's something like that. And another cool thing about Fortunes, and something that I don't know if a lot of people realize, is that if they get some kind of a big core or a core with a lot of actives or a lot of skills, you can actually use Fortunes in to purge time dilation.
It is pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a short version.
But talking about a double healers, Dinosaurchestra saw that, and so what do they fire back with? Something that kind of cuts heals off cold in its track with the Ancient Apparition. I think that's a good second pick.
That's an awesome counter pick for them. The AA negates Oracle in a pretty big way. Granted, they do have Fate's Edict to do 100% magic damage resistance. That doesn't make the AA ult still affect them. So, as much as they may have magic damage resistance, it doesn't remove it, the ultimate. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Word.
Yeah.
So with that being said, no match takes the Alchemist off the table. They don't want a super farm heavy game because with the 2 picks they have on the table, they got the off. Dinosaurchestra has their offlane, presumably their offlane. That Void still can go in the 1 position, and they have a support, probably a 5, possibly a 4. They don't want to give them a big beefy Alchemist pumping out a lot of items as early as 15 minutes. Don't want to give Ags on later down the road because that would be really useful or really beneficial to Ancient Apparition. Who wouldn't love a free Ag stick?
I think that's a rhetorical question. Because the way that I look at it, they're getting rid of Juggernaut, so they want to make it so that there aren't carries that can still sort of do damage inside the Chrono or Juke or Virtue of. But Alchemist, the synergy with the Void AA, yeah, he can feed them Ags, but he will be a little bit slower to come online, and then Void will have to have an impact, so then that would be putting a lot of stress on their roll 1. This is assuming if Void is an offlaner in this draft here. So I think an Alchemist would have been a stretch for Dinosaurchestra. However, pretty likely that they could do it. Salt Spoof is, he's been known to do some shenanigans as much as I am familiar.
Now the thing I think is kind of interesting. I'm gonna honestly just blow over the Drow because I mean she got banned. Let's be real about something. She's kind of good, right?
Yeah.
But Dinosaurchestra banned PA. Now, PA isn't a hero. Phantom Assassin isn't a hero you see too often. But with the lineup that she could have quite possibly been going into, that would have been a go hard to go home hero, So,
oh, yeah, man. You just click that Blink Strike and then you hope you kill them before they kill you.
And then there would have been a false promise behind it if the Witch Doctor could somehow get close, not exactly on top of her, but, Voodoo Restoration again to keep her kind of tanky. Maybe catch a cask, just to set up the PA. There could have been a lot of potential for it, but we don't have to worry about that. We got to worry about Flappy Bat, the Batman, Bat Rider.
Bat Rider's pretty cool. I think he's going to bring a really nice level of control to the playing field. Also, another character that can disrupt Faceless Void in his Chronosphere, assuming he's not hitting it, so that's another added benefit. Being able to affect turn rate against Faceless Void is a pretty big deal. That's why I really like the Sticky Napalm. And, Ancient Apparition, able to get rid of the Blink Dagger proc, so that's a little good for Dinosaurchestra. However, Bat Rider is going to be a pretty strong initiator in this game, and I think a lot of No Match this week is going to rely on Bat Rider as a pacemaker, but it falls into the rest of the draft, as it always does in Dota. This chess-like game, how dare it? I like this Mirana pick, because Chronosphere, again, another easy setup for a Sacred Arrow.
Also, if later on down the road, after Mirana gets the 14 eggs and maybe possibly a blink for positioning, she can maybe go to the side, like on the outskirts of the Chrono, and pick off somebody else that Void isn't focused on if he gets like a 2-3 man for possibly the God Chrono. So there's a lot of free damage for Mirana on the table.
I like the God Chrono.
I try sometimes.
All right.
I'm more of a quantity person, not quality. I'm gonna have some bad lines in a second. Just let me warm up, all right?
All right. I'll take it.
But it's not about me. It's honestly not about you, even though this is your cast. It's about
these guys, yeah, man.
Yeah, no match with 50 seconds left in reserve. Thinking about a core, a 1 position, and more than likely a 2. I say more than likely a 2 because I don't know how OG they are. I don't think they're crazy enough to throw the Batman in the middle lane, but could you really rule that out?
Not at all. Bat Rider could totally be in mid. He can control the Mirana pretty well, I'd say. She will have difficulty right-clicking. They might even have to end up running like a dual lane with Mirana AA in mid to try and make it so Bat Rider isn't able to be as aggressive on Mirana. Something that we were able to see in a different series this day was Mirana doing a lot of farming in the jungle and in the lane. So that's always a potential for Mirana to do if they're in a sticky wicket in the game. I like sticky wicket. I don't know really exactly what it means, but it's neat. So Mr. Magnus has been picked. You think Magnus could be the offlaner, or is it going to be the mid? Because I feel like Bat Rider and Magnus right now could be kind of interchangeable. Magnus being much weaker in the offlane than the mid role, so I would say precedence would be for him to be there.
That's something I was thinking about. Like, No Match has a decent amount of flexibility with their team. A lot if you think they're crazy and they're memers, because like we were saying, Bat Rider probably going to go to the off lane. It's possible for him to go mid. Magnus, he can go mid or off lane. Now, the meme part coming in is if for some reason No Match has the cojones to throw Oracle in the mid, a la Sumail.
What? What?
You haven't seen the games where he's done it? It hasn't worked out very well, but it's something that has crossed their mind.
You talking about like some Dagon shit?
I don't even remember because I blew the games off. They didn't really do anything. But you know how some people are. Some people are willing to venture into unseen waters and just go crazy. They probably won't, but it's something that might possibly be in the back of Dinosaurchestra's mind. A little bit to the point of where they pick up a Rubik, because as somebody who likes playing the young Rube, there's a lot of good skills to steal in this game so far.
Oh, absolutely. Witch Doctor's got great stuff. Oracle, Batrider situationally, Magnus as well. My God. Rubik's going to have a field day. And I like Dinosaurchestra banning out the Medusa. I think that could have been a great character for No Match to run with. However, I think they would want to try and capitalize on the Empower a little bit better. So maybe they would opt for a melee core. Regardless of that, I would see Medusa having a lot of synergy with Dinosaurchestra's draft, to be quite candid. I think she would have been a strong player for her team, too.
Something to sit in the back, the heavy tank to fire into the Chronosphere.
Well, I mean, they would be looking for longer fights, realistically, if they would have a Medusa.
Seconds remaining.
And they'd rely on a lot of, the control and stuff like that they would have with the Void and the Rubik.
Mm-hmm.
This Luna pickup is pretty interesting. We've seen a couple Lunas today across different games and different series.
I don't know what you want me to say about her other than she's going to hit a lot of creeps, and she's quite possibly going to hit them. I can't say pretty fast, because they're always going to have the threat of the Batrider and Sven for a last pick.
I feel like I kind of saw that coming. I was thinking about the Empower, and they're going for Super Greed, double Empower, all in on Sven. That's really what it is. They're throwing it all in on the Sven. And I think it's going to be glorious.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about how the fights pan out if these are even, because Sven, historically known as a hero that gets kited, it's not so much of a problem now because he'll possibly eventually wind up with a blink dagger. It's not the most important thing for him, because whoever's going to be
eventually.
Yeah. Hey, he might not even need it this game, because
I think he would get one,
because he's got a Batrider, he's got a Magnus. One of those two should be looking for a blink first item. But will they be able to get the initiations in if the Dinosaurchestra, sorry, that's still a tongue twister as much as I love it.
I like their
be
picture.
hard. Huh?
Their picture. Did
you
not
that
see?
picture
Is dope.
No, that picture is actually godlike.
That's dope. That's so dope. Anyway, let's read these guys off. For Dinosaurchestra, we've got Clint Eastwood as the Marana. With him, we've got, I guess that's Regalius, an Ancient Apparition.
Yeah.
Ghost Pepper on the Luna. Snow on Rubik. And in the offlane, we have Salt Spoof on the Faceless Void.
Over on No Match this week, we got your boy playing Magnus. Bobo the Pro on the Batrider. Greed playing Sven. 416 on the Witch Doctor. And Tier 2, T2 on the Oracle.
So early dominance has already kind of been settled. Batrider placing down that vision, blocking out that camp from spawning. Probably before they got to lane 2, so they haven't necessarily noticed it yet. And
I think they have an idea, because Ghost Pepper was pinging around that area. He there's no way he knows exactly where it is, but I think it's crossed his mind.
Mm-hmm. And we know that the Radiant do not see Bobo. They just did now, and they're going to ping it out like crazy. And they're going to try and collect both the runes, and yeah, Spoof is definitely going to need to give up the top rune, and likewise for Bobo for the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So as our teams go separate ways, we've got a safe tri-lane with Greed, T2, and Witchdock, Mr. 416, going up against the Faceless Void. Bobo, on the other hand, is going to be dealing with an AA Rubik Luna. If you got to give it to a one team or another off the bat, I think this Faceless Void's going to struggle, and I think Batrider could be okay.
What makes you say the Batrider would be okay?
Because they're relying on a couple of spells right now. Ancient Apparition has Chilling Touch level 1, and the Rubik is unskilled right now. So for the Batrider, he went boots first. He's got a ton of regeneration. He even has a TP scroll on himself already too. So he knows that after Lift Beam, he can always just TP out. And he's getting his experience in the tree line right now, and he's not getting zoned out. Spoof, on the other hand, is taking a lot of pressure in the lane. He can get zoned out relatively easily if they choose to, but they're not. Or they're not zoning as aggressively as they could be.
Yeah, I could
on the
agree
other
with that.
team.
416 is kind of hanging behind Greed, or rather beside him, rather in front and trying to push Spoof off the lane. T2 is coming over here now. Spoof
Uh-oh.
has level 2. Yeah, we're going in.
Stun to follow up, and 416 is going to follow with some more right clicks, and here comes the paralyzing cast. A couple more bounces on Spoof. Is Greed going to be able to get the right click? No, T2's going to go for it, and a couple tower pots on them, but he's able to be okay. Spoof is going to salve up and kind of just shrug that off. Go back in the lane, but again, he's going to get zoned out pretty consistently, I would say, and Bobo right now just kind of run around in circles with his Firefly level 1, so now he's not going to really be farming either. So both offlaners at an impasse, it seems.
Yeah, and the lane we haven't touched on yet, mid lane, is looking fairly even, I believe. Again, this is coming from not a mid lane player, but it's 5-5 for your boy. Well, 5-5 for your boy, and then Clint Eastwood just hit 6-4. It's 6 yes, 4 to 9, so it's pretty even.
Yeah, he's getting pressured back a lot right now. He's got 550 gold, as does Marana, so they're about even on regeneration. They'll probably have similar bottle timings. You boys maybe a little bit sooner than Clint Eastwood's. I think we're going to have like a lane attention switch move to like the top lane. We've got a little bit of stacking and pulling shenanigans going on. Greed's pulling his creep wave under the tower pretty easily, and Spoof is sitting around with nothing. T2 tried to smoke, and they immediately got broken because Spoof was wandering around the jungle. So I don't think a lot of thought went into that one. And now he's pinging. Spoof is pinging it out. They ping back. They're having ping-offs.
Spoof caught him trying to flee the scene, trying to leave him hanging. It was interesting because the only reason he was over there was because T2 pulled the small camp. So with no pressure on him at all, of course Spoof's gonna wonder what's up. He's trying to get that money, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It was pretty dangerous for him to approach it, but he was fine nonetheless.
Yo, but in the bottom lane, Bobo the
yeah.
Pro looking at 5 stacks on Regalius, gets the flame break on him.
Oh, he's dead. He's dead.
Yeah.
Just like when you get 5 stacks on a player, they're just gonna fall.
Bruh,
Just so much amplified damage.
That snow cone melted.
He got poked. Regalius is going to be our first blood of the game. Up, and we've got a DC. 3 minutes and 38 seconds in. Oh boy.
You can't even call it a rage quit because that's his fin. Maybe he's trying to tell Bobo to carry him or something. I don't know. That's so good for Bobo. Getting first blood in the lane that, I mean, like you said, he couldn't really farm it at all. Just...
No, he was relying on someone being out of position for him to capitalize on it. And AA with no boots, yep, that is him. Especially since, Chilling Touch, once Rubik left the lane, Batrider knew he could take over. They need to dedicate a tri-lane to being able to zone out the Batrider, and once they rotated off the Rubik, it stopped happening. Now, Snow's rotated in the mid lane right now, and Clint Eastwood is being aggressive, but I don't think this Rubik's really going to be looking to do any sort of pressure in the mid lane. He's got a smoke of his own. Maybe he'll look to rotate to the top rune. He smokes up by himself. Looks like he may try to rotate around on your boy here. 4-minute rune is going to be near, so your boy would probably look to go to the top. Clint Eastwood postured a little bit aggressively with the tree line. And I think they're going to be looking for your boy to probably rotate to the top rune.
It's possible.
That's got to be where they're looking for if Snow's going to make a move. Oh, and here goes your boy. He's going to be able to bottle up and go to the top rune right now. And here's Snow. He smoked up. Smoke broke. Is your boy going to do something? He lifts him. Zaps him. Arrow follows up. Skewer already went off. He's going to take more right clicks. Double fall is going to happen from the Starstorm. We got one rotation on Bo. And I don't think he's really actually going to be able to do anything here. They're going to just casually go to their corner. Snow will grab the bounty rune, hopefully. Yeah, off they go.
Well, even though your boy got saved and he's about to pick up a rune, so it's not really the most harm done. One of the big things that did is that it got Bobo off the lane. It got a little space for Luna. I mean, Luna didn't need the space, but it's space in time. And that's not a Batrider farming a blink to come lasso her in the near future. So it's not the greatest rotation out of Snow, out of the Dinosaurchestra, but it's one that might help him in the near future.
T2 dropping a sentry mid, able to counter them out, so that's going to be pretty helpful for them. And Clint Eastwood playing very passively, very safe. Maybe want to look to Bottle Crow or something like that since Dire have so much control right now. And with no ward placement on any runes, it's going to make it a little bit harder for Dinosaurchestra as well to continue up that sort of placement. But we've got a smoke gank coming out on bottom. 416 and T2 smoked up in the jungle. Looking to try and catch Ancient Apparition out of position in the tree line, and T2 has the smoke broke. There's going to be the Fortune's End. The cast is going to follow. Regalius is going to take plenty of damage. He is down. Bobo is going to try and go deep on Ghost Pepper. The fire is down. He's going to be okay. A couple more clicks are going to be there. Oh no, T2's going to fall. Bobo, he might go down too. Ghost Pepper trying to run in the fire, and now, oh my god, here's 416. He's taking the whole creep wave in, and Ghost Pepper's going to be able to turn it down on him, so he's going to take it too. Regalius, level 3, rotating TP back into the lane, and that was a great exchange for them. Couldn't have gone any better.
No.
Well, it could have gone a little better. Bobo died also.
Yeah, like, he was so close to falling to the Luna, but Ghost Pepper holding on strong. I mean, there was some questionable plays in the coordination of that gank, but ooh, I'm very surprised that Ghost Pepper and Bobo were able to walk away from that one.
So in the top lane, we've got a level 6 Faceless Void. He's got his Chronosphere. He doesn't really have much in the farm department, but he's got Chronosphere. So, like, that in itself with a Mirana rotation, maybe a Rubik TP, that could be a kill for them, and they should probably look to do that. The Sven is only level 5, about to be 6. He doesn't have a lot of HP yet, so that's really where they're able to get the big benefit of trying to hit him before he gets his Helmet Dominator or, you know, Armlet or whatever direction he wants to go. I'm making zero assumptions as, you know, Requiem Autumn has told me that people will build whatever they want. If that's anything I've learned about this tournament.
Now, we're theorizing that it'd be good for somebody to come up with Spoof and come at the Sven. Wouldn't it be also okay, or maybe possibly a better decision for Spoof to try to look mid real quick at your boy and try to shut out an early Blink Dagger?
Absolutely. Any kill that they could take. Faceless Void could also choose to hold on to his TP and rotate bottom if need say that there is a dive on the mid tower or safe lane tower. So there's a few ways that Spoof could utilize his Chronosphere, if not just for the aggressive purposes on the Sven.
Speaking of bottom, Bobo is down here. T2 came down. Bobo already has 5 stacks on Snow.
Uh-oh, Snow is taking some heavy damage here. We got a lift on him, though. He's going to fall down with the Frost. Bobo is going to go down. Ghost Pepper is going to fall. Spoof is here. He could choose to Chrono. I don't think he needs to. 3 more seconds for another jump on T2. A couple more pokes are going to come out. Are they going to be able to get him? He's still going down even deeper. They do get him in the end, and 416 just a little bit late on his rotation. Spoof will be able to undo some of that damage with Time Walk if he wants to, but a little bit late, so now he can.
416 isn't late at all. He's down here to get the experience. That's what it is. That's part of his grand scheme. Because he is, well, I can't say he's pretty far behind, but he's still looking level 3. The supports are okay.
The Sven is looking pretty happy. He's got 66 CS, 13 denies. Right now he's at almost 4K, and that's just from farming creeps.
And nobody's in his lane since everybody TP'd bottom. He's gonna have.
He was able to go such a greedy build. He maxed Great Cleave first, which not only pushes the wave a lot, but it also doesn't really leave him any sort of power to fight anyone else because he's built a farm basically.
But who's gonna come and punish him for it? I mean, he was against a solo Void, and if they really wanted to put the supports up here against him, that would have left Ghost Pepper all by himself, and that would not have been a good look at all. So. Clearly a good choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thus far.
All right, well, we've got T2 and 416 looking for a kill potential here, but Ghost Pepper has his Dragonlance finished up. And I don't know about you, but I think this might be able to turn again in Luna's favor. Because of all these kills, these throwaways that they've had, they might be able to get a kill here. T2. Could they be able to follow up with the Fortune's End and go from there? Snow's in a bit of a bad spot, I think.
I could agree with that.
It's very precarious. I think the Dire need to drop a aggressive ward behind the tower. That would do a lot for them right now. If they really want to pressure this tower and take it, they need that vision behind the tower.
That being said,
Ghost Pepper TP's top.
Yankee
AA is still walking bottom, and Rubik is hiding in the trees. Maybe they were anticipating some funny business and they just didn't want any.
Yeah, like I get the impression that it wasn't so much that like I was thinking that Ghost Pepper is gonna do something corny like gank, but they just have this hunch that there's a lot of pressure in their jungle in their tier 1, and it's not as much as they think, but it was enough to spook them.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of spook, Clint kind of falling back behind his tower because he saw an Oracle, then he saw a double and realized that.
Uh-oh, on the
Just
bottom
the
lane, BO2 is trying to go in Aurelius. He's going to use his Firefly. And 416 now in here as well. I don't know if they're going to be able to follow up in here. He gets the stun off with the concoction, and Regalius is going to fall. Mirana ult used a little bit too late, but Snow is going to try to continue on the pursuit. Here comes Salt Spoof with the jump. Chronosphere just barely grabs him here. 416 not caught in it, though. Going to try and walk around to help BO2 out, and might be able to throw a cask, but with BO2 already falling, 416 now in a pretty bad situation himself. And he has more mana. Spoof could choose to continue this pursuit. And Rubik does have lift. If he's able to get a lucky bash off, they can hold him in place. But I think 416 would be okay to retreat now at this point.
I think 416 had a small shot. It would have been the smallest shot, but I think he had a small shot to save Bobo. Because he had cask up when Bobo was chronoed. And there was some creep. I couldn't tell you exactly which one, but there was some creep that was next to Bobo while he was getting hit by Spoof. So he could have tried to roll dice on it, especially since the first one, the first cast hit would have killed the creep because it was low. So it was very likely that he could have got a couple of bounces on him, but he didn't even go for it. He tried to walk in with the Voodoo Restoration. The Bat Rider went down, and 416 was actually lucky to walk away with his own life.
So let's recap on this Sven. He's at 105 last hits.
Oh, Lord.
He's got almost 2k in the bank. He's going to either have this Echo or Blink, like, now. Like, he's going to be pretty close to either item. Blink is going to be upon him.
Yeah, this dude Greed is living up to his name up here.
Well, his team's building space for him. They're doing these weird fights in the bottom, but he's getting space. He's getting time.
Radiant's top tower is
So to that credit, like I said at the beginning of the game, they're throwing all in on that Sven. And Magnus does have a Blink Dagger. It would be hard for him to do his full combo while not having mana boots, but he has a Blink. He does have RP. Skewer is available. And top tower is going to go down too.
And your boy walked out in the lane with the Blink Dagger, so there should be no mystery.
Your boy can also
Dinosaurchestra.
skewer Snow under tower if he's quick. Because remember, there's turn rate. So
Yeah.
Rubik would have to turn around to lift if your boy does it correctly. And yeah, Sven actually goes for the Echo, not the Blink. He's relying on the Magnus. He's relying on the Bat Rider eventually. That's kind of the way that he's progressing.
Can you really blame him, though? Like you said, he's got 119 last hits. This dude has been slapping creeps for the past 13 and a half minutes. He's not worried about fights right now.
Oh,
He's
I
just worried
know.
about that GPO.
He's slapping more creeps over here too in the jungle.
Yeah, it's even to the point that Bobo was coming over here and giving him some the fire. Whatever that's
Whoa,
called.
Chronosphere going to be off on mid, and T2 will get caught. 416 able to follow up with the cask, and there's going to be the Lucent Beam. Luna's going to fall. The Mega Streak has gone. Ghost Pepper, the victor. 5-0-0 on that Luna. Uh-oh, Spoof. Spoof might be out of here. He's able to rewind a lot of that damage. BO2 is trying to pursue. Greed doesn't have this Echo on him yet. They should have waited for these items before like trying to go in on it.
I think it was a little bit of a panic because they saw Chrono drop down. All the TPs came in mid, and they just wanted some kind of response. And it looks like
BO2, he's gonna go down. Very greedy, but with his death, they secure the space to claim the tower. That's silver lining, man.
Yeah.
Space created. Looks like your boy is off on a lone. Spoof is nearby. This could probably go in your boy's favor if he plays his cards right. He goes in for the skewer initially. Spoof, plenty of mana. He'll be able to rewind when he wants to, and he does. And No Match this week is now looking to position in the bottom lane. They're going to try and take out this tower.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They're grouped up as 4, so maybe they'll be able to do it. They're following around this Sven at this point with the Empower on top of him, with this Cleave and Echo Saber. Oof, the amount of damage he's going to be doing in such a brief amount of time, I'm excited to see it. But they smoke in the... Okay, they smoked. Wrapping around now. Regalius. Uh-oh, he's going to be under pressure, and he's going to get hit with Fortune's End. Snow throwing out the stun on T2. Easy Skewer going to be there. Going for the cold feet on your boy, and oh, there's the ult! It's going to be able to pop the Oracle. 416 now in a bad spot, and with the RP fallen, he's got another Storm Bolt for him, so he'll be able to drop that in a couple seconds, and there it's return! The ultimate from Luna! Absolutely catastrophic! And just a couple more seconds, Clint Eastwood will have the Starfall. They'll be able to continue in. The Lucent Beam is there too. Bobo the Pro, is he going to look to do anything here? Clint Eastwood.
I hope the only thing he's looking to do is a run.
Bobo the Pro. He has his ult. He could be looking for some sketchy shit. Ghost Pepper's gonna heal on up and get on out of there. Spoof has a chrono. Spoof could go. Nope.
Gonna keep it locked up. Keep it safe. They have a pretty decent lead off of that. Even though, well, I say pretty decent. It's probably about 750. Even though they lost the tower, they took more money straight out of their hand with those few kills. And I was gonna say that fight probably has to go to Snow being the MVP with those strong multi-person Stormhammers.
But if we're looking at the experience earned, Dino is looking at about 4K above.
Experience is serious.
And that's gonna be a big deal.
Big enough that's made no man. 5-man in the middle.
Bobo the Pro rotating bottom.
Yeah,
he's going to try and get that farm out, and then he's going to go back in.
Yeah, he's pretty close to his Blink Dagger, sitting at 1,700, around 1,700, a little more. T2 disconnecting again. He was looking at the Ancients, probably thinking the farming himself. Haha.
Yeah, man, let's just farm up those Ancients as Oracle. No big deal. No big deal.
So how are you feeling about this game so far?
Well, Dino have a pretty dominating experience advantage, but if we're looking in the gold department, it's just about even, so it's really going to come down to these team fights, because the way that it goes is based on big ults and rotations. You know, we've got this huge reverse polarity. We've got the Bat Rider with the Flaming Lasso, too. And then we got God's Strength. So we got to kind of tie all these things together. And really, that's where we're going to find these big fights happening. Witch Doctor also not level 6. So that's going to be even more physical damage coming out. And Dino is going to continue to accelerate with magic damage and physical damage. The magic damage is going to come in part from the Mirana, from the Starstorm and the Ags, and also from the Ancient Apparition with the Ultimate. So they're going to be pretty dynamic with the type of damage that they're dealing in these fights. Whereas there's a lot in on physical damage.
Speaking of Mirana, we have Moonlight coming in.
Oh, yeah.
And that got scattered out because T2 just happened to drop a Sentry Ward around the Ancients, trying to see if there was any vision on the stack, the same stack that Ghost Pepper's mopping up for himself. And we see No Match coming over quick, fast, in a hurry. I think they want to try to contest.
Yeah, I would if I was them. Ghost Pepper is able to do all sorts of stuff. As a Luna, farming an Ancient Camp is easy peasy. But we've got to lift on your boy. Arrow's going to be off the mark. They have dragged Ghost Pepper to the danger zone. Population U. Greed is going to try and get the ult off, but Spoof with the great Chronosphere. Ancient Apparition ult hits as well. And now Spoof is going to just try and be on the retreat. And, you know, this... Oh, my God, the reverse polarity on the backside. Spoof, again, taking heavy damage. Oh, my God, the cleave coming out from Greed. He just picked up the blink seconds ago. He's going to be able to continue the pursuit up in 3 seconds. 2, 1. He's got the blink. He's got the stun. Larry looks to do it, and Clint Eastwood's going to go down, and he's just going to get skewered back for good measure.
When I looked at the start of the fight, I was thinking it was so scary for Bobo as he cut around to grab the Luna because he was so close to his Blink Dagger. But with that fight, he just got his blink. So we've got Blink gaming going on No Match today. And they were chasing Snow. Oh, almost got the flame break on. T2 even went with a Fortune's End, but Fortune's End doesn't stop a T.
It does not. It does not. Ghost Pepper is looking to try and do something on Greed here. He'll be able to bleak away in a second, so he is okay. 416, he'll continue on the retreat as well. your boy just farming away. He's going to have a 4-staff soon. He's going to be doing ham.
He's been doing pretty well. That RP salvaging up the fight.
Yeah, absolutely. That RP did wonders for them in that
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
absolutely insane presence. I like that T2 opted to get a raindrop finally to try and help with all that magic burst that was coming out on them. That's going to help him a lot. And, you know, every time he's going to take magic damage, it's going to be 120 probably. Also be good against AA ult too, so there's a few multi-levels of use for it. Batrider has blink now, if that wasn't necessarily called out just yet.
Oh yeah, that came from the fight and a little bit of farm afterward.
Yeah. So I'm going to hit F5 just to give a recap of everybody's items if we haven't touched on anything lately. Spoof does have a Vlad's now. Everything else is pretty much standard and that we've called out, so...
The thing that we haven't really talked about, which hasn't been the biggest thing yet, is that Regalius is he kind of like the last game you cast. He looks like he's committed to a Midas, possibly.
Yeah, it looks like whatever time I get this Midas, I'm getting at a Midas sort of build. And last game we saw some Midases in like the 25-ish minute sort of time frame even. So maybe that's just kind of their approach to make sure that AA is able to have something going into the late game at this point, since I guess we're in the mid game now. So we would only go more into the mid game. Yeah, Snow's super dead.
And that arrow just short for a response. That all came while T2 bought a smoke, and they were looking to smoke into the radiant jungle, but it looks like they can just go on the front door if they really choose to. Possibly still going to smoke. Wouldn't blame them for it. But Dinosaurchestra might have an idea that this is up since they have a ward behind the tower, and they might have seen the courier bringing the smoke in.
Yeah, I would expect them to kind of respond from that. They dropped a sentry, interestingly enough, and then didn't look for countering the ward. Why would you do that?
Possibly didn't have the nerve to walk up.
Or maybe it was more so for like the Moonlight Shadow, I guess.
That is true as well.
So they're grouped up as 5 in the bottom. Greed almost has Chrysalis. Actually, once Courier brings it to him, he will have it. 4-staff almost ready on the Witch Doctor, and they've shown face in the lane. So now Dino knows that they are grouped as 5 at this point. And with Spoof in the top lane, this might be a little bit dangerous for them. And Clint Eastwood, seemingly unexpectedly, maybe in a bad situation. Oh! Ooh. Those quick fingers. Greed not able to get him there. But they're definitely going to be able to take this tower. Big Chronosphere coming out. Arrow not going to hit, but AA ult does. Witch Doctor ult immediately broken, and now everybody else is falling too. T2 tries to TP out with False Promise on himself. Is he going to heal in the well? Probably. Nope, he died.
Probably not.
And your boy, he's just going to retreat. He's got a 4-staff and a blink at this point. He'll be looking for the next fight. He'll be looking for a good reverse polarity. And then they'll really look to accelerate their fighting from there. Because, again, it's all in on Sven. And if Sven gets caught, then Sven's not happy. And the rest of the team's probably not happy at that point either.
Greed got a little greedy, living up to his namesake, went a little too deep. And that set up the Void with a nice 2-man chrono. Again, like you said, Clint Eastwood didn't get the arrow on him, but it wasn't really needed because we finally saw, well, I can't say the first, but it was the second big Ancient Apparition ult. Oh, good looks for the Dinosaurchestra.
Woo! That arrow just off the mark. BO2 Pro blinking into the tree line for it. Not going to be able to connect. And if you're your boy, what you think you're going to get as your next item here? For checking out that net worth chart, Sven and Luna are going toe-to-toe, but Magnus is definitely pulling away from the Mirana comparatively. Check out mid lane. BO2 Pro. He's looking for it. He blinks in. He did get it. T2 going to be able to follow up with a Fortune's End. The Witch Doctor ult is there. Your boy could blink. RP committed. Skewer misses. Greed's able to follow up with the stun, though, and the cleave is going to strike on 3, and 2 of them are going to die immediately. Ghost Pepper now going to get stunned up. Spoof is going to try and do some time dilation to help, but it really won't do anything. Your boy is going to force that forward. He has a blink if he wants it. He does blink forward as well, but he can't keep committing on this Spoof. Spoof's very elusive. He has a blink dagger now.
I don't even think they care about that. You see Greed immediately going tier 2 after the second blink. looks like they might want to get a little bit of chip damage on the tier 3 if they can. Possibly take it down. They're going to have to wait for, well, no. Looks like they're just going tier 2. Want to get
Yeah,
the outer
take what's
towers down
easy.
first.
Take what is easy. And if we're looking at the XP chart, we have now equalized. We are at equal experience from both teams. And net worth, again, only slightly in no match this week's favor. Yeah, Warcry. Get your team that armor.
Fishing for the Stormhammer, nobody home.
All that armor for your team, man. Uh-oh, we are smoked up. Where are we going? Roshan is up if they want to go that way. That would not be a bad call for them. I would enjoy a Roshan right now, and I think that puts them in a good position as well. They haven't, like, done any countering of that one ward, though, which is still interesting, because this sentry will now have lived its full duration, and they didn't kill that ward.
I was going to say, I think...
Oracle just saw it. The Oracle just saw it. Is he going to break his smoke to counter it? I think he's thinking about it. Yeah, he's going to do it. Oh, he doesn't even get it! And he drops another sentry. Yeah. He dropped another sentry, though.
200 gold for a 100 game.
Easy peasy, man. What you know about that? What you know about that? Nothing is the answer. Or maybe something, I'm not sure. So Magnus is going for a Shivas next. I like this idea a lot. I think the only thing that could have maybe also been equally good, but in a different way, would have been AC. Shivas is going to help Luna do less damage by virtue of the minus attack speed aura. And also, he'll have some illusion clear and AoE teamfight presence with that Shivas as well. I think the AC, if he chose to get that, would have been a little bit more emphasis on the Sven again. Whereas the Shivas has, like, crowd control. Whereas an AC would have just been, you know, innate armor. So I think the Shivas is a good choice.
I would like to point out that while we were trying to figure out what your boy was going to take, he took a little bit of money out of Ghost Pepper's hand while he denied the mid tower. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Hell yeah. So if you're a Salt Spoof and you're a Faceless Void, what are you going to get next? You got a Blink, you got a Vlad's. What's next in your world?
Again, you're asking the wrong person. Possibly some damage. I'm not entirely sure what would cross your mind right now.
I would probably think more towards like an Aghanims. Lower the cooldown of his ultimate, increase the frequency of his ultimate.
I could see that.
Also gives him more HP, you know?
Yeah, that is very important. I could see an Ags. I didn't think it was the
maybe
most
just refresher, you know? I don't know. There's a couple ways that you could probably go with that.
I think you would get an Ags before a refresher.
Oh, yeah, because he would need the mana pool. He wouldn't have enough without it. Was it 387 or 380, 375?
It's a lot. Just like it's a lot of damage.
It's like almost 400 for refresher.
Yeah,
375.
In the middle lane, tries the moonlight, and he gets ran down by your boy.
Your boy is doing all sorts of work. He's going to have this Shiva's Guard sooner than later.
We have to give it to your boy for picking up the K, but that all came off of the back of Greed blinking in and hunting down Clint. And immediately, no match, diving into the roast pit. Said they want this Aegis and they want it quick, fast, in a hurry. But Dinosaurchestra, they're in the area. They have an idea, even though they don't really want to go in without the Mirana. It's still a threat. They still have Chrono.
Yeah, 416 and Boba Pro are kind of zoning out. They've got the Luna pincered off. They found the Faceless Void. I don't know if they're going to be able to do anything here. Luna's going to be able to go in with that ult, as is the Ancient Apparition ultimate, but we've got a huge reverse polarity there. 416 doing so much damage with the roll as well. Another Fortress End going down on Ghost Pepper, and Green is able to follow that up, and Sven getting a triple kill, dominating spree. T2 now on a killing spree as well. Holy shit. 4 people down. They're like, we were thinking about Roshan. Let's do Roshan. Push the bottom and damage.
that fight was so good for a split second. They didn't know what to take because everybody wanted to go in the roach pit. T2 over here pinging tier 2, trying to take himself out of the game, but no match. Immediately getting the roach afterwards, and yeah, they're looking very good right now. If you take a look at both of the graphs, they're going down.
They're going down. Are you yelling timber?
Yeah. Falling down to that dire side.
Oh yeah. So we've seen that net worth for them just so much dramatic. You know, about 6K ahead at this point. Experience-wise as well, we're looking at about a 6.5, 7K lead too.
Did we say that Greed has a Daedalus?
Greed has a Daedalus.
Okay.
He's got a Daedalus now. That's definitely for certain. With this Blightstone on the tower, they're going to be able to take it down even faster. And away your boy goes. He's up in the top lane, and there goes the courier. It's about to come with him with his Shiva's Guard. So how much of this game is going to fall on this Luna? Because BKB really ain't going to help her as much as you would kind of hope. Do you think a Hurricane Pike is in her future? Because we know BKB is, because she has the Ogre Club. Unless you think she could pull out a meme machine and go for the Ags. The Ion Shell, the Ion Cannon from the sky is pretty awesome.
I don't know.
It's like, pretty memey.
Really? I don't know. I'm kind of liking the idea of a Hurricane Pike, but I'm wondering how useful it'll really be to her. I mean, sure, she can push one person off to her, but she's getting dove by 2, sometimes 3 people.
Well, it gives her a just slight way to maybe get away from the Bat Rider. That's kind of one of the things that I look at it and see.
Here's the thing I'm saying, though. Like, with the way this game's been panning out, if you just look at it on paper, sure, it gets her away from the Bat Rider, and that's great. But who's been leading a lot of these fights? It's actually been the Sven, you know? So,
definitely.
Sure, she can push the Sven off of her, but then she has to deal with the Bat Rider. Or she can pull the Bat Rider off of her, then she has to deal with the Sven. Like, aside from the last fight at the around the Roach Pit where they singled out Spoof, Ghost Pepper on the Luna has actually been getting focused pretty hard by multiple heroes. So a Hurricane Pike, while giving her just the slightest bit of armor, slightest bit of stats, and pushing somebody back, it's not going to stop all of them for diving on her. So
no. I look at it more as like a force staff that uses the slot rather than that of the actual effect of the Hurricane Pike. Because I kind of picture myself doing that more. But we've got a big stun coming out from Greed, and he's just going to kind of melt everybody. RP's going to land on 2. AA ult does hit everybody. And now he's getting zoned out by the Great Witch Doctor ult in T2 with the Glimmer Cape chilling off in the tree line. He might actually... Nope, Frostbitten will not take him down, and Greed is just going to kind of poke things. And he activated his Satanic. He won't have that for the next fight. He's going to hit with the Chronosphere. Aegis will go down, probably. Now Spoof is going to poke away at your boy, and now he needs to be on the retreat. And he is. Good. Lovely. Rax are still under pressure. Greed coming out with a stun. Regalius is just going to kind of shrug it off and walk away. Greed clearing out the creep waves in the meantime. And looks like they successfully defended the top. They may have lost the tower. 1-for-1 trade in the end. Offlaner for a mid, but it could have been worse. They didn't really take as much damage as they could have. Those melee racks will heal up, but now they're worried about all these other lanes. They got to keep the pressure off. They need to be trying to get a kill themselves. This Sven has 21k. Luna has 12.
Yeah, the reason why Luna has 12, though, is she just bought back. So even though Dinosaurchestra might want to try to retaliate back, they have to be really careful, because if Ghost Pepper goes down again in like the next 6 or so minutes, it might just be curtains for them.
Oh yeah, she could definitely just ending up ruining the game at that point, because buyback won't be available. 5 minutes and 40 seconds at this point.
And you still see, if you look around, Greed's kind of hanging around in their jungle, not too long, but trying to exert his dominance over the jungle, trying to make sure that there's not too many places for the Luna to wander out and try to scrounge up a little bit more farm.
Yeah.
That being said, Spoof's in the top lane, you know.
Yeah.
What you think?
Spoof is doing pretty well, trying to get as much farm out of these bad situations. Previously, he was really low on the net worth graph, and now he's come up a bit quick from there, and he's going to be able to take the top tower now. And honestly, he might be able to continue pressure in this lane because he knows that his team is up in the base, they're defending, and it's the Dire that are grouped up as 5, whereas Dinosaurchestra are trying to just get as much out of this as possible. So Spoof is off just kind of split pushing, farming. He has a TP scroll, he has Chrono. He's probably going to need to be paying close attention to the bottom lane because these fights are going to happen super quick. And BO2 Pro in the tree line looking for Clint Eastwood, not seeing him, actually placing an observer ward behind the tower. They are so close to each other. And now he's been spotted. Clint Eastwood, he's seen him. BO2 Pro, he's going to get stoned up. He gets lifted and dropped. The Oracle is going to be there, but Clint Eastwood getting popped by Greed in the back end. Salt Spoof, he's going to be able to get off his ultimate, and Greed is actually going to fall now. Sven immediately deleted, and your boy to follow as well. Ghost Pepper doing so much. He did opt for a BKB, and now it's going ham and a half. T2 going to fall. Wait, no, not up. There he goes. Okay, didn't want to eat my own words.
Totally understandable.
Yeah,
I'm surprised that
Spoof is continuing the assault. It's not over. He uses time dilation, and 416 gets the maledict off on him. No more mana on him. He cannot backtrack any of this damage. He's gonna need to disengage.
With the way Bobo went into that fight, I'm amazed that he wasn't the first to fall, because you would think that he was looking for Clint because we had the vision of everything that was happening down there. But I think he was trying to tunnel vision on Ghost Pepper again, or at least look for Spoof, who he didn't entirely see at the time. Like, he knew Spoof was in the top lane at some point in time, but he might have lost track of when he TP'd back, which is why he went straight over Clint and was looking for something bigger. But that is probably what did no match in, as they almost got wiped at 3.
So if we're checking Dire versus Radiant Vision right now, the only thing that the Dire see is this little region over here, and then back here. So they're kind of running blind, whereas on the flip side, Dino having chosen to do very defensive vision, having them place, periodically out over here, giving them at least a little bit of safety net to know that they can farm their own base. So both teams kind of running blind right now. They don't have any vision across the river, aside from something that matters. I guess, that being said, they do have this, so they can see some rotations.
Yeah, T2's putting up some more wards now. I was going to say that I don't really blame No Match for the wards they had at the point, because they had wards to pretty much make sure nobody snuck out of the base. And, like, the only option they would have had is to smoke. And they don't seem like the kind of people who plan on failure. So they totally expected to take the tier 3 and quite possibly the game. It didn't work out, so it looks kind of dicey vision-wise up until now. When they get some more wards up, get a little more coverage.
Look at this. Interesting to note, these wards. You know how usually most people will put a sentry down here and then an observer up there? Well, and they did it flipped? But if they did it flipped, then they would have been able to counter the other ward. And the Radiant may have seen this ward because of their placement of the other ward. But BO2 Pro able to jump in pretty hard and able to grab Clint Eastwood, but Spoof is able to go in and get T2 now on the backside. 416 drops the ward inside the Chronosphere, which doesn't do anything, but he gets 2-shot by Greed in the back. And Ghost Pepper now going in. The BKB has been used. RP not going to connect on anybody. Ghost Pepper continuing the retreat, but your boy is maybe going to fall now to Snow, and he does. Snow steals the skewer and runs back into the base, but Greed's going to blink back in, get popped in the face with just a quick 2-swing. And with plus 600 damage from his ultimate, Greed is definitely a reckon to be dealt with, and he has 2 more seconds till his blink dagger. He could look to just go back in. It's very easy for him to just, get a kill if he wanted.
As much as he wants. I want to say he might not think about it, but he sees the glaze bouncing around him.
I would have thought about it. I would have definitely thought about it. Oh, he thought about it! He thought about it! He was popped off of him pretty quickly, so now it's just going to be him chunking away at the mid tower.
Yeah, Snow's buyback being the one thing at this point in time saving the game for the Dinosaurchestra. But it seems like Greed is a little more concerned with
now they're taking some damage from creeps in both top and bottom waves. Over 500 damage to both towers. from creeps. That's kind of silly. That was preventable damage to their barracks and base.
Yeah, they're just really, I don't want to say narrow-minded, but they have a lot of tunnel vision on trying to break this base, and they've been pretty unsuccessful. They've gotten to top tier 3, but that's it so far. Both times they've been repelled off by the Dinosaurchestra, but it doesn't look like that's going to stop them yet. Dinosaurchestra having the room to farm, greed.
Ghost Pepper's sitting on 5,300 actually. And Regalius, you know, I don't know what time he finishes Midas, but he has a point booster. He's sitting on 1,200 as well. So there may be an Aghanims on this Ancient Apparition by game end.
Quite possibly. Did we mention that Greed picked up bots?
No, I don't think so. But he has Boots of Travel now. So they're both farming very, 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 very aggressive. So, like, the Dire is in a pretty dangerous spot, and the Radiant have better positioning to approach this right now, because they're 3, and they may look to now. Clint Eastwood jumping in, able to get off a great Starstorm of damage, choosing to use the Murano ultimate now. AA ult will connect on 1, so T2 could be dead, but Bobodo Pro grabbing Clint Eastwood, pulling him back to Sanctuary, and Greed jumping in with the ult. Oh, and there's the Chronosphere on all 3 of them. And Ghost Pepper now with the Eclipse ultimate. They're going to go down. Creed switches with the BKB and chops them all down to size, so all of them immediately fall. Snow with the Maledict. That's not going to even matter. Greed has now gotten a triple kill, and with the... Oh, my God. Shockwave will finish them all off. Your boy and Greed going crazy. We got a buyback, and now Snow is sitting in a bad spot. Quad buyback coming out of Dino. And there goes Rubik.
I was going to say who got who with the Chrono and Eclipse, because even though that was such a strong combo coming out of the Dinosaurchestra, they might not have a match for no match. They dumped all their ultimates, and they only got 2 faces to show for it. That was this is not a good look for them right now. No match smoking up again.
Yeah, they're probably going to take Roshan. This should be a very easy Roshan for them. And now it comes down to what item is Sven going to replace. I'd imagine we get rid of this Echo Saber for this. Or realistically keep Echo Saber and give it to someone else, because he's already a scary guy.
I kind of imagine with the way he's been going, it would probably be best for him to keep it. Like there,
yep,
like
there it goes.
There goes the Echo Saber. Like, who else do you give it to?
He just bought a Moonshard and ate it.
Okay.
So that makes up the entire speed differential of, you know, the Echo Saber. Because basically a Hyperstone gives you more DPS over a longer period of time. If you're, like, trying to do some number crunch true Dota shit, you know?
Numbers are always good.
Dota's got a lot of numbers in it. Speaking of numbers, 28,000 net worth versus 18 almost thousand net worth. That's numbers for you. Gold graph wise, we're going to be looking at about 15k in no match this week's favor. Same sort of deal with experience, same sort of disparity around 15k. Dino is going to be needing to be so spread out when they're approaching this fight. They're going to have to hope for some sort of nice fishing initiation here, because if they clump up at all, Greed is just going to kill all of them. Oh, and there he goes in on Spoof. He's going to jump in, and there comes Bobodo Pro. He's going to grab Spoof immediately, and Greed's just going to chunk him down. RP's going to go off on 2, and pings are going to come out. Bobodo Pro throwing out the Ignite, and oh, they're going to be able to do anything here. Clint Eastwood able to leap away. Tries to grab Snow in the back end, and now they're just going to secure the positioning to go and take this tower. Arrow off the mark. Greed able to get the stun off on 2. Ghost Pepper going to get chunked down, and he's going to fall also, and here's the GG from Snow.
Yeah, pack it up. There was little to no hope for the Dinosaurchestra in that fight, because they took the fight mid a couple of minutes ago. They dumped their entire kit on no match, and it didn't work. So what hopes could they possibly have of stopping a Sven charging at him and just chunking people down in 3 hits, 2 hits, 1 hits. It was very scary to go against the might of greed.
Chunking him down. Love it. Love it. Well, no match this week. We'll take game 1 in this best of 2 series. This is Reach4sKai at sKaiHIGgaming, joined with Mr. Dogysamich. And thank you again for joining us for game 1 of this series.